What is up, everybody? To Reverse TV here today. So it appears that Sony is on a censorship crap once again, and this time it's the game called Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. It is censored on PlayStation consoles. So I don't know what is up with what Sony's deal with censoring these games, and it's kind of weird too because like certain games they don't censor, while certain ones they do. Like this one's one that was censored. Obviously, the PlayStation exclusives like God of War or Last of Us Part Two that's not censored. So it's just weird what games they do censor, what games they don't censor. Um, so this article goes into detail of why these games are censored. Um, we're gonna get into it right now. So it says Doki Doki Literature Club Plus has been censored on PlayStation 4 and PS5, altering the color of blood in one major scene. And I have a post where people are talking about it, like this is what pissed people off, or just people talking about the whole situation. And as you can see, the uncensored version, the girl seems to be has a knife in her, and she has like the blood is red, while the censored version on the PSN network is black blood. It's just like why censor it? I believe the game is rated M too, so I don't like the idea of Sony censoring content that especially is rated M for adults. Like, why are you censoring content that's rated M for adults? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that premise that's going on right there. Like, let me choose what I want to play and what I don't want to play. Why are you censoring the stuff for me? I'm a grown adult. And then it's like I said before, they got games that's like really violent oriented, like The Last of Us Part Two. Um, those are The Last of Us Part Two and God of War. And even like Mortal Kombat is on the PlayStation Store as well. So why isn't that game censored? It's just weird. But back to the article. Um, for those unfamiliar, the Doki Doki Literature Club is a parody and subversion of visual novel dating sims. The game proceeds as a dating game normally would, with the player writing poetry to appeal to the girl they like the most. So that gives you some background on what the game is. Try to skim through some of this stuff. The developer blog post explains that we feel confident in the nuance of DDLC's content, but we also know that certain platforms might have regulations that we wouldn't be an exception to. While stating that it decided long ago as they would not publish a game to a platform if it meant scenes had to be removed, they are visual changes on the PlayStation version. Visual changes, okay. Let's see. Basically, the change is not a big deal. I just wanted to make everyone aware of it in advance because I know that DDLC fans would notice it as a difference from the original game. I wanted to avoid a scenario where people would spot the difference and think the game was unfairly tampered with by some other company. And that's the thing, the censorship hasn't come to any other platform. As simply like Nintendo Switch, you would think like Nintendo would be the most like they'd be the most like want to censor these games because their system is primarily aimed for younger children. But even they don't censor it. Like this is on pretty much every platform. PC, Steam, it's on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. But the only versions that's censored is the PlayStation versions, which is definitely weird. And they said this is not the first time games of PlayStation has been censored due to Sony Interactive Entertainment on policies. Yeah, I know they have. I think they censored like a Naruto game as well too. I don't know, but it's just kind of crazy how they just choose which games to censor. It's not like a standard, but they just randomly choose which ones to censor, which is really annoying. So he says, why my game is getting censored, saying people are crying about it. All opponents virtue signaling that stomps on artistic freedom of developers. Our opponents in a world that already has existing rating boards that label games to their intended audiences. Yeah, isn't that what the ESRB is for? To make the games to be a certain rating? Why do you have to censor it? It doesn't make any sense to me. Adults can definitely choose for themselves without a platform enforcing a ridiculous censorship onto titles. Why in the hell would you defend censorship? Sure, it's not a big thing. They changed this time, but every step toward censorship between the dev and the customer is a bad one in such a creativity-driven medium. Can you imagine all different publishers decided to just demand changes and removals of things on their whim because of some overly sensitive culture? Yes, I agree. I'm not liking this whole censorship stuff like this. Uh, Nowadays, having Plus or Remastered next to the game title in the West means censored or some contents removed for global standards. Like even in the Mass Effect, that Mass Effect Legendary Edition, they even censored like the Like the butt shots is like, I don't really care, but it's like it's getting to the point where like everything is being censored in these games now. It's just weird. You people sat back, did nothing and let. Just curious, how did you battle against it all? Teach us your ways. Why is showing blood taboo? You think only Japan is super sensitive about portrayal of blood or violence in fiction, but apparently the rest of the world caught on as well. Raise your hands if you're surprised. All my comments. Okay. What a little snow. What a woke little snowflake Jim Ryan is. Anyone who would need to be censored for shouldn't be playing it. Okay. Let's see the actual post people were talking about it on Twitter. So basically, the blood is black now. The splurts are some weird glitchy texture. The background is black with noise instead of just a classroom. The character sprite leaves a trace behind. Yuri hand stays on the screen, for example. And he says, Switch is allowing all games to go uncensored, except those that are straight up and are not allowed on consoles. I really don't understand what Sony's doing. Yeah. Nobody knows what Sony's doing, why they're censoring games. Let's see. If I'm being honest, they censored that S and probably put the excuse children over it. And honestly, as a child, black blood with glitching would scare me more. Except this game is most definitely not for children. It's pretty clear at this point that the motivation behind their censorship is to protect their digital children. Oh, you can still kill and sexualize them, but they're going to be black blood and light rays. Sony just turned all the girls into robots. What is this? Germany's version of Counter-Strike? Makes it look like she accidentally spilled printer toner on her shirt. Yeah, so if you were really unhappy with this, I wouldn't even buy the PlayStation version. Just buy it on every other system. Like, it's just weird. Like, they're literally the only system that has a censorship. Like, literally, Nintendo has no censorship, Xbox has no censorship, and literally Steam has no censorship either. So, yeah, it's just like, just guarantee you're gonna lose sales on this game for the PlayStation version. Like, who wants to have their game censored? It doesn't make any sense to me. But Abby being straight F is okay. Effing Sony, man. Of course, it's Sony. They are awful. Anything even slightly anime, censor the F out of it. Full on sex in The Last of Us 2, sure thing. Okay. I'll say it once and again. I'll say it again. Sony is a B. Yes, people are not too happy about this censorship thing. Like, I've never played this game. I probably really have no interest in playing this game, but still, it's like when it affects a game I do want to play, this is going to be a real problem then. Because, like, why are you censoring games, especially if the game is rated M? It's like, I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions on what I want to play or what I don't want to play. Why are you censoring stuff? That's really annoying. So, Blood and God of War is fair game, but this isn't. Hyper realistic man having his head beaten in with a golf club, blood and viscera flying everywhere. Okay. Anime girl stabbing herself and showing blood. Not okay. Seriously, what even are Sony priorities? This S is so weird. What audience are they trying to cater to with this? I got called names for censoring the Xbox version of PH for censorship. I don't know what that is, PH. But now that it happened to a non-morally reprehensible game like Galagun, people are oddly quiet. Whether it's PlayStation or Xbox doesn't matter to me. It's M rated F for F sakes. Okay. Damn it to hell, Sony. The Last of Us 2 showing constant brutal deaths, people being tortured painfully, a beloved character getting their head bashed in with a golf club, absolutely 100% fine. Doki Doki Yuri stabbing himself, now that's just too far. Sony, what the F is wrong with you? LMAO. Yo, this is pretty funny. Censor blood on Sony, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? PlayStation likes to censor everything. It's garbage. Sony is completely unredeemable. Can't even feign surprise anymore. On one hand, that's terrible. Sony's selective censorship is terrible as a whole. On the other, who the F is buying visual novels on a PlayStation? Visual novels on a PlayStation? I don't know. Uh, I've been a fan of Sony from PS1 to PS4. I stopped banning their games and a console since they started being like this with either violence or sexuality. They also seem to suppress some developers and not others. Yeah, it's like it's definitely like a selective like censorship thing. Like it's definitely weird. Like it's definitely selective. Like their big first party stuff, there's like no censorship whatsoever. But this other stuff, like this stuff that's not first party, it's like third party. It's like especially like some niche stuff. They're definitely censoring it. Then people are saying they got the Switch version, so they buying a different copy. So I don't know how this is like. Sony's just losing money by doing this because they're literally the only company censoring this game. So I don't know what makes. I just don't get it. So it says Sony. So this game is rated M for audience 17 and older. Well, we can't let people 17 plus who are capable of making informed purchasing decisions see this particular instance of violence against a cartoon character. The fact that it goes to red blood second after is what's really annoying. Sony aren't even censoring; they just asked to change a random scene with no consequences, or no consistencies. Okay. Uh, it's so weird that this got changed and every other situation of blood is still present, including the self-mutilation. I swear Sony's just random with these choices. Thanks, Sony. Very cool. You allow creators to behead creatures in The Last of Us 2 to brutally kill people with heavy injury detail, but anime blood is too much. It's also rated 18 physically. This gets censorship, but Mortal Kombat just fine on PlayStation does not compute. Especially Mortal Kombat, bro. At least like The Last of Us and God of War. There's violence, but Mortal Kombat just says hold my beer with the violence. They go extreme with the violence. I believe there's even like an article where it was like some of the Mortal Kombat developers and people who design like the fatalities had like PTSD because they saw so much violence they had to take a break for doing that. Now, but that's okay on PlayStation, but this scene right here where the character's like stabbing herself, that's just over. That's just too much right there. So it is just definitely weird with Sony. It's just they're just randomly just censoring stuff. So I'm gonna conclude it right here. People are not happy with the censorship. I'm not happy with it as well. Even though I've never played this series or played this game before, this can get to a point with the censorship where they start touching games that you actually enjoy, and it's gonna be a big problem at that point. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you like this video, and as always, thanks for watching and peace.